Hello and blessings, my beautiful souls. My name is Avalon and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about how you can activate your psychic and intuitive abilities. So let's get stuck into this video. First of all, I think it's really important for me to mention that we all have those seeds of psychic and intuitive abilities buried deep within us. We all have them. It's not a case of one has them and somebody else is born without them. That is not how it works. We all have that potential locked deep within us. The difference is that some of us are taught from a very young age to develop those skills, while others have been discouraged from even acknowledging that such things existed. So therein lies the difference. But if you have fallen into that particular category of people that have never really been taught to use your intuitive skills, you didn't get that head start, you didn't have that nurturing upbringing in the sense of that intuitive awareness. You might have had lovely parents, but they did not necessarily nurture that aspect of the self. It doesn't mean that you can't start right now. If you don't use your beautiful intuitive and psychic abilities, they don't disappear, they don't go away, they don't calcify, they become dormant. And they will never awaken, they will never become something unless you are prepared to work on them. So, throughout the course of this video, I'm going to be giving you some suggestions, some tips and tricks you might call them, to help you to really understand, acknowledge, connect with, and essentially activate those abilities. Now, activation isn't and it's done kind of process. It's not something that happens overnight. This is like exercise. You have to build up that spiritual muscle, so to speak. You have to begin to truly strengthen those abilities by doing regular practice. And so we're going to run through some of the things that you can do starting right now. So if you are the type of person that likes to write things down, grab yourself your journal, your pen, a cuppa, and let's get stuck into this video. The first tip that I'm going to give you is something that may come across as a little boring, but hear me out, and that is awareness, mindfulness, groundedness, and centeredness. Now, here's where this comes in very, very, very importantly, right? So when you are first beginning to develop your psychic and intuitive abilities, what happens is they slowly start to yawn awake. And you start to experience these little fleeting moments, these synchronicities, these little whispers. If you are not mindful, if you are not there, you are not present, and you are not paying attention, if you're not grounded and centered enough to be able to truly see what it is that is happening around you, the experiences that you are having, those subtleties, those little whispers, you will simply miss it. You will absolutely miss it. So learning techniques that bring a heightened awareness in, that help you to understand how to ground and center, are absolutely paramount to this experience. And therein lies the fantastic and rather necessary foundation of all of the suggestions that I'm about to present to you today. So we have to start from the bottom up and ensure that our foundation is locked in tight, okay? So grounding, centering, awareness, mindfulness, bringing your awareness into each and every moment, especially when you are endeavoring to practice any kind of skill that will help you to exercise those intuitive faculties. Being 100% aware, being very present, will enable you to catch the subtleties of those beautiful psychic and intuitive whispers. It's the subtlety of the experience that you want to attune to. And the only way that you can do that is if you are there paying attention. All right, the first technique that I'm going to suggest for you today is a grounding technique. This is something that you can do that is super simple, and that is to walk barefoot on a really nice, unpolluted patch of nature. Being out in nature, really breathing it in, learning to recharge, learning to find that center are all really beautiful and natural ways that you can go about creating that sense of grounded and centeredness. Mindful breathing is also another way that you can help to collect yourself, that you can learn to eradicate the unnecessary thoughts in the moment and bring yourself more easily to the center. So try out breathing activities, breathing exercises that will assist you to eradicate the pent-up stress and anxiousness of moments and find that beautiful center. Yoga can be really beneficial for those of you who like yoga. For those who don't, touch things, natural things. Crystals can help to ground. I highly recommend tourmaline. Touch wood, lean up against a tree. Eat root vegetables. These are all ways to really ground and to allow you to find that center. You cannot find that center without first being ground. But I'll go into grounding and centering in more detail in another video. Let's move on. The next suggestion that I'm going to make for you today is crystals. I love working with stones. Stones are an expression of the earth, a jewel, if you will, of our beautiful earth kingdom, and they come in such wonderful colors, shapes, sizes, variations, and bursting with different attributes. Now, in order to truly help to activate those intuitive faculties, we want a really high vibration stone, something that connects to the upper chakras. I particularly like working with third eye and crown, but I also like working with throat because it allows us to communicate effectively in that more psychic and intuitive way. So it helps to clear up those blockages. This is just my way, it doesn't have to be yours, but I like to work with the knowledge of the Hindu chakra system because I believe that that helps me to better visualize and connect to an understanding of the meridians that course within my body. Now, this is something that I say to my clients when we're doing this type of work as well. You don't necessarily have to work with the Hindu chakra system per se. It is just one of the most effective tools that I have found for allowing you to visualize those meridians. The concept of meridians running through your body and those beautiful thresholds of energy exist in so many different healing modalities, but for me it becomes easier and more visually enticing to work with the Hindu chakra system. So moving on from there, crystals. Now I'm going to recommend to you a stone that I recommend to the vast majority of my clients when we're doing spirit work to help to ignite intuitive faculties, right? And this is a crystal that works. It is one of those powerhouse crystals that I just want to work with all the time. I think it makes up a fantastic piece in your arsenal of stones, especially if you like to work with crystals, and that is blue kyanite. Now, blue kyanite is a wonderful activation type of stone. It helps to clear and align your beautiful energy centers, your chakra points. It helps to really stimulate that third eye and your psychic abilities. It helps to still your mind when you are engaging in any kind of meditation, journey work, path working, etc. So this becomes one of those powerhouse stones, like I was saying. And it is the first place that I would recommend that you start as far as crystals go, because blue kyanite doesn't need to be cleansed, or so the literature tells us. Now, if you're not a fan of blue kyanite, or if it's too hard of a stone to obtain, I have some other suggestions for you that all relate to allowing that expansion to occur in the third eye and that connection, that development to really begin to take effect, if you will. Now, Cavansite is fantastic for psychic abilities. It's wonderful for stimulating that reflex. Moonstone is a much more gentle aid in developing your intuitive abilities. Moonstone is very linked to the moon, hence its name, and it is also something that is quite feminine and gentle and receptive in its own way. So if you are the type of person that reacts rather viscerally towards stones and working with crystals, then Moonstone can be a wonderful option. Now, there are two types of moonstones that you can work with, the rainbow variety and then your standard softer moonstone. There are various different kinds of moonstones within those categories as well, but some lean towards that beautiful rainbow moonstone, little pieces of tourmaline thrown in there for good grounding measure, while others are more into that natural, more peachy kind of moonstone. Either way, it is up to you. Go to where your intuition is leading you. Another stone that I want to recommend to you is Iolite. Iolite is such a light, vibrational stone. It is such a beautiful stone to sit there and focus on. It can be a wonderful meditative aid. It can be very stimulating to those upper chakras. It can be very, very helpful and efficient at helping you to develop your clairs. And if you're not familiar with the concept of your clairs or your clairsenses, then I will link a video that I have made in the cards up here so that you can partake in some of that information as well if you don't have it or know it already. There are quite a few stones that I could in fact mention to you here today. Lapis Lazuli is one of them. It's a very well-known stone that people love to work with. It is fantastic for throat and third eye. However, lapis is now currently on the blood minerals list, so unless you have a piece of lapis, I wouldn't suggest going out and acquiring one at this stage. Azurite is yet another stone. Azurite, and the recommendation for Azurite in your intuitive development, your intuitive and psychic abilities, comes a little bit from Edgar Cayce, who who basically stated that if you could just hold onto a piece of Azurite for a couple of minutes, your intuition would just start to speak to you. So there's a lot of ledge in there with that one, okay? In truth, there are so many beautiful crystals and stones that you can work with in order to develop your psychic and intuitive abilities. Amethyst is a beloved stone. It is the stone of spirituality. People adore working with amethyst. It's the stone of the crown chakra, so if you really want to go in that direction, you can as well. There is Labradorite or Labradorite, however you like to pronounce it, which is considered the temple of stars. It's another psychic and intuitive stone, and there are so many others that would really help you to understand and unravel and bond with and activate those intuitive faculties. But the ones that I have mentioned so far are the ones that I would recommend the most. They're the ones that I recommend to my beautiful clients, and they're the ones that I personally use myself, and I have had tremendous success with these particular stones, and I know that my clients have absolutely loved working with these types of stones and have seen a vast improvement as well. All right, my beautiful souls, the third recommendation that I have for you today is to practice divination, the art of divination, in fact. Now, there are so many beautiful divination practices that you can begin with, start right at this very moment in time. Anything from palmistry to tea leaf reading or something else entirely that I haven't yet mentioned. But of the many beautiful, practical, wildly unusual, and very curious practices of divination, I would like to recommend that you learn to use a pendulum. Now, a beautiful pendulum, this is an amethyst pendulum, very simple. This is wire wrapped. It has, the stone itself hasn't been bored into. So we have the bob, which is the weight piece in a pendulum. And this can be anything, by the way. I've seen it be nuts and bolts. I've seen it be a wedding band. The string or the strand or the chain in my instance can also be string. It can be twine. It can be a strand of hair. And the fob is entirely optional. Now, I happen to love to work with crystal pendulums because I also believe that crystals are wildly activating, as we have previously discussed. This one here is an amethyst pendulum. It is beautifully balanced. It's a nice natural point, and it has a really good swing. So if you would like me to do a video on how to effectively use a pendulum, I happily will. But for right now, I encourage you to play around with the idea of a pendulum. If you don't have one, you can easily make one yourself. They are very easy to construct, and they can be made out of anything that is reasonable to you. Reasonably accessible, I mean. So, divination practices, get amongst them, have a bit of fun with it. The next recommendation I'm going to have for you today is perhaps my favorite, folks. It is tarot. It is oracle. Now, I am a professional tarot reader. I'm a teacher of tarot, so I can come at this one strong, but I will try not to linger too much to occupy too much of your time. Tarot, oracle, card-based, structured divination systems in their own way. Oracle is a free-form system. Tarot is a set structure. We have two very different beasts here, my beautiful souls, but they are both absolutely fantastic at assisting you to interpret symbolism, to understand archetypal energies, to really delve into the realms of numerology and astrology, color and elements, etc. So tarot can be a very disciplined practice that you can cultivate. So if you're the type of person that enjoys that little bit of discipline, that enjoys learning a different language, a different structure, a different modality, tarot is its own world. Like I said, it's its own beast, and it can be wildly rewarding to understand the structure of a tarot and to begin learning to work with a tarot, because it can lead you down wonderful paths, I assure you. Oracle, on the other hand, is such a lighter form of divination. It's such a lighter, process of guidance that happens. Oracle decks are typically beautiful pictorial images, typically, not always, but beautiful pictorial images. They have keywords and key phrases. They tend to come with little guidebooks that have extra meanings and details attached to each of the cards, so that you can really get this, feeling of guidance going on. And I happen to find card-based systems like this to be wildly rewarding, because there is something very engaging about the visual aspect of art on cards, as you will find within tarot and oracle. The vibrancy of that artwork can really hit home. And the thing is, when it comes to tarot and oracle, there are so many different decks made from so many different art styles and color palettes, etc., that you are bound to find something that truly, truly connects with you, that you truly respond to. So this is a wonderful, wonderful way of daily personal guidance as well, to really help to ignite that intuitive faculty and those psychic abilities. Something that helps you to, keep an eye out for omens, something that allows you to preempt, something that allows you to do a little future casting. The applications for tarot and oracle are in fact endless, and the more you play around with these types of systems, the more you open yourself up to greater wisdom and more experience as far as the development of your intuitive and psychic abilities. There is so much room for a psychic hit in a tarot reading and an oracle reading. It is absolutely amazing. And there are some readers that specialize in fortune telling and psychic readings within the realm of tarot and oracle. So it is a tool that becomes a beautiful gateway to opening up those abilities even further. So consider tarot, oracle. Which one's for you? The last recommendation that I have for you today is meditation, path working, journey work, and of course, breath work. Oh my goodness. A good meditation can be aided by the use of crystals, grounding and centering. Blue kyanite, if you have a problem, settling your mind and focusing during a meditation, then blue kyanite is your best friend right there, okay? So learning to meditate and really clear the space allows you to wipe the canvas clean and see and feel any kind of psychic and intuitive impression. So learning to really quieten the mind is very, very helpful. It's a beautiful tool. Psychometrists like to do this, clear the slate before they touch an object. If you're not familiar with the term psychometry, it is object reading, placing your hand on an object and getting a psychic impression from that object. Okay, so there are many, many beautiful practices and psychic skills that require you to just clear that slate, and meditation is a wonderful way. And meditation, once you are well versed in meditation, you can get into that state of mind really quickly. So practice, 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 just clearing the mind, taking some deep breaths and helping to clear the mind. Path working, on the other hand, is its own journey. It's like a spirit journey. Path working and tarot, or path working and oracle, can work beautifully. You can also couple path working with beautiful magical sound. And what I'm talking about here is Tibetan singing bowls, crystal singing bowls, binaural beats, ancient chanting. Really, really, really fantastic allies and aids that will help you to shift your state of consciousness. So if you're that type of person that really enjoys that rhythmic experience, closing your eyes and being taken on a journey, then you will love it. Trance dance is for you in that case. But truly, a beautiful, beautiful journey by a single shamanic drum can be such a revolutionary experience. It can really take you deep. I've had incredible experiences just with a simple shamanic drum and a voice, or no voice at all. It's such a great space. Learning to journey can be an incredible way of meeting your guides, chatting with your ancestors, doing a bit of healing, connecting with totems, and so on. There is so much room for incredible experiences within a journey, and learning to journey, learning all about journey, it's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. One of the things that I could recommend to you, especially if you like tarot, is to path work with your tarot. So hold up a tarot card, look into it, focus, visualize, if you are able to do so, because Fantasia is a real thing, folks. But focus and visualize and see yourself stepping into the card and interacting in the scenery of that card. Having a visually enticing and welcoming image is very, very helpful in this instance, but it enables you to experience journeying in a lighter sense. And it also helps you to develop a deeper understanding of the deck that you are working with. So try out a little path working with a tarot or oracle card and see how that affects you. But simple journey work, so good for you. Okay, really helps you to unleash that psychic and intuitive ability, and really help to stimulate those senses, to get them like breathing and moving and shaking and, I like my senses to be undulating. You might like yours to do something totally different. It doesn't matter. The point is we are activating, and that is a very, very good thing, a very necessary thing. Next, we have breath work. Okay, I left this one for last because I have a little exercise that I would like to do with you today, and that is a little breathing exercise. This is a very quick one, so if you can give me that time right now, I think that you will enjoy this. So just have a moment to sit still, relax your posture, and begin to just monitor your breath very naturally. Don't try to force it, just monitor your breath. When you're ready, I want you to close your eyes, really soften the gaze, close your eyes, whatever works for you. And I want you to start to breathe really deeply. Inhale, belly rise. Exhale, belly fall. Really breathe deeply. Inhale. Exhale. And when you're ready and you feel that energy start to shift slightly, that tension sort of begin to shift just a little bit, I want you to focus the intake of your breath. Breathe in and direct that breath into that brow bone area, to that third eye space in between your brow bone, just there. Breathe in and breathe into that space. Breathe in and exhale. It may help you to breathe in that beautiful, activating, magical, psychic, amazing energy. Just bring in all that potential, and then exhale the unwanted, the unnecessary, and just create a nice cyclical breath there. You know, breathe in vitality and breathe out excess. And when you have been doing this for at least a minute, I want you to monitor the physical sensation in your body. The most active physical sensation that my clients most often report is a tingling in that brow bone area. Some experience that area of the body like really, really crackling and alive, and as though there is a placement of something right there, like a presence, like a weight there. And this can be the very beginning stages of opening up that beautiful third eye. The opening of a third eye comes with its own philosophies and its own processes, let me be very clear, and one doesn't simply open the third eye in one sitting. Again, these are processes, these are exercises that will need to be done on a regular basis to learn to attune to the subtleties of your psychic and intuitive abilities. But by practicing each and every one of my suggestions that I have made for you today, you are going to start to feel an immense difference. So allow yourself to experience this firsthand by trying these out. Just try them out and see how they work for you. Keep a journal. I highly recommend keeping a journal because it starts off small and it can build up big. Keep an eye on synchronicities, keep an eye on the development of your senses, and I want you to have a really, really good time with this, okay? These are practical how-tos. Take a moment to factor them into your day-to-day, make them a part of your metaphysical maintenance. You can do them as often as you like, and the more often you do them, the more results that you will be able to get. So my beautiful souls, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I have absolutely loved sitting here and chatting with you about how to activate your psychic and intuitive abilities. If you have any questions whatsoever regarding anything that I have mentioned in this video, leave those questions in the comment section below and I will get to those. I love to chat with you, so please do be prepared to leave your comments. I would also love to hear about how you went with that very subtle, very easy, very simple breathing exercise. Did it do something for you? I'm excited. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. And also, if you are really stuck and you are having so much trouble and this is something that you just cannot seem to really kickstart for yourself, then please know that I offer sessions on my website that I can work directly one-on-one with you in order to help you to truly develop those intuitive abilities. So if you need that, then it's there for you. All right, my beautiful souls, much love and many blessings. Take care and I will chat to you again soon. Mwah!